Hey guys, it's me Arlene, Delicious Delights. So today I'll be talking about a new fragrance from Maison Margiela. It's part of the replica line. It's called From the Garden. Just have a small sample here. It says there earth and tomato leaves. That's the description of the scent. So before I get into this, I want to talk about my love of the scent of tomatoes and tomato leaf, tomato stems. I have some leftover tomatoes in my fridge. These are called romaches. I guess they are smaller versions of the Roma tomato. And when I open this, I smell the tomato vine mostly, and I love the scent of tomato vine. It is a very nostalgic scent for me. Growing up, my parents had a garden in the yard, and every year they would plant a lot of tomatoes and they would grow, and all summer we would be eating fresh tomatoes from the garden, which were so yummy, delicious. They taste nothing like the tomatoes that I eat or buy from the grocery store nowadays. There was just something extra special about those tomatoes. They were made with love. My parents both have a green thumb, so they really enjoyed just growing their own vegetables from the garden. Mostly tomatoes. There's beans in there as well. Onions. I just loved everything in that garden. I spent a lot of time as a kid in the garden, just running around in the yard. You have the scent of grass. My dad mowed the lawn very often, so that scent of freshly mowed lawn or grass filled the air and mixed in with the scents of the earth, the soil, the garden, all of those vegetables, and the most distinct smell other than the grass scent in my parents' yard was the tomato vine and tomato leaf. Tomato leaf to me smells green. It has like this fuzzy kind of character to it, and also on the leaf you can feel a fuzzy texture on it, and I get that in the scent too. It's spicy, it smells herbal, green, and of course the scent of tomatoes smell juicy and ripe, and the ones that my parents grew in their garden were like super sweet. They had different varieties. They were like so sweet and delicious, and then every meal we would have chopped tomato on the table, and they would put just some salt on top of it, which drew out the juices even more, and it was just so yummy, and I just love tomatoes. Tomatoes I am crazy about. I eat tomatoes every day. It's like my favorite thing, you guys, to eat, or one of my most favorite things to eat, especially the ones from my parents' garden. But since I'm in the Netherlands, I have to make do with what I buy from the grocery store, romaches, but these are cherry tomatoes on the vine, but they have other varieties too, but they are not as good as my parents' ones from the garden. And From the Garden is what this fragrance is called. And so when I first tried this in a store, I loved it, you guys. This scent immediately took me back to my childhood of just running around crazily, aimlessly wandering around in my yard, you know, getting dirty, running around, playing with my dog. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun memories. And so this definitely brought back some memories, because this smells so much like tomato vine, tomato leaf, and tomatoes. Okay, I'll just read out the notes here quickly for those of you who enjoy hearing about the notes. Top notes are tomato leaf and green mandarin. Middle note is geranium. Base note is patchouli. There's also a small little write-up in here too. That's what the bottle looks like, by the way. It's the same as the other ones in the collection. And the write-up here, so from the garden, crispy notes of tomato leaves and juicy green mandarin bathed in sunbeams. The joyful feeling of reconnecting with nature, hands in the earth, an afternoon spent in the garden. And I think that is the perfect write-up for it, because that's exactly the imagery that came up when I smelled this for the first time. Running around the garden, all of those beautiful scents just outside in my yard. This is just such a realistic tomato leaf, tomato vine, tomato scent. On my skin, it feels like as it dries down, the tomato leaf note gets even bigger and bigger. It grows and it gets stronger. It's the dominant note throughout the entire scent. It's mostly linear on my skin. I have the dry down here. The main thing is of this fragrance is that tomato leaf or tomato vine, which is very spot on for me. And I love it, you guys. This is something that I will probably add to my collection. It says here, style description, memory in a fragrance. That's the theme of this replica line. And I think that this fragrance from the garden does that very well. It is very much part of my childhood in a bottle as a fragrance. So in the summertime, when there were too many tomatoes growing, they would pick all of the tomatoes and give them to whoever, like family and friends. There would be big bags of tomatoes just sitting on my kitchen table. And as a kid, I would stick my nose into these bags. And I didn't even have to do that because the whole entire kitchen smelled of tomatoes and tomato vine and tomato leaves. But just to make it even more strong, more intense, I remember sticking my nose in the bags and take a big whiff of this gorgeous, fuzzy, green, grassy, herbal, naturey, earthy smell. I just am in love with this scent, you guys. I really, really am. So I probably will pick this up. I think it's fantastic. Some people might find it strange because you smell like vegetables or like leaves, or it's too realistic, but I really, really love realistic perfumes that smell like food as well. And yeah, this smells like food, and it really does take me back to that time in my life, and I really enjoy it a lot. I'm very, very happy that I got my nose on this. That was my review of From the Garden from Maison Margiela. If you have tried this, I would love to hear your opinion about it down in the comments. Also, which is your favorite Margiela scent? Which ones would you recommend? Please let me know as well down in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.